Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield. And hey, it's on me, Shakespeare for everyone. You too, Margo. I'd like to tame your shrew. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister, and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margo D. Hello, friend.
Screw you, Vonnegut. I got a D.
We are dorking out about 1986's Back to School because 'tis the season for Back to School. This is a comedy, obviously, starring Rodney Dangerfield, Sally Kellerman, Burt Young, Keith Gordon, a very young Robert Downey Jr., Sam Kinison. So funny.
Funny as shit.
Yeah. William Zadka and his amazing feathered mullet. Ned Beatty as Dean Martin. Sorry, I will always laugh. Kurt Vonnegut as himself. And Danny Elfman as himself.
And Oingo Boingo as themselves.
So good.
As a band.
Oh, this one was a fun one. Did you see Back to School in the theater?
Yes, I did. And I laughed my goddamn ass off. This is a movie, by the way. This is one of my parents' favorite movies. So something we could watch as a family. And we all cracked up. And in the first couple of minutes, and it's the only time there's nudity because there's the character, Rodney Dangerfield's character, like walks through the dorm.
Yes.
It's very 80s.
Yes.
You know, there's girls in a shower and a guy walks in. And Thornton Mellon, Rodney Dangerfield's so fucking funny in this movie, by the way.
So fucking funny. Like, Margo and I have talked before about how there's comedies that don't have jokes. This is all jokes. It is non-stop jokes. And it's so fucking quotable, this movie. It's ridiculous.
He walks in on her and he just says, "Oh, excuse me." And then he goes back and goes, "You're perfect." It should be. It's so dated.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff where you're like, it's the epitome of like rich white guy privilege for Dangerfield to like buy his way into college.
Here's the thing with Thornton. He's a sweet guy.
He is.
He's nice to everybody.
He is absolutely nice to everybody. He is very well intentioned. He's not a bad person.
No.
He's
generous.
And he's very generous with his money, and he's super fun. He's just fun. Why wouldn't you want to hang out with him? Because he's so fun. And if you haven't seen the movie, go back and watch it right now. It's streaming on HBO Max. The whole idea is Rodney Dangerfield's character owns these. He runs Mellon's Tall and Fat clothing stores, and he's super rich. His son, Keith Gordon, has started college at the like fictional, like, I don't think this is a real college, Grand Lakes University, and their mascot is the Hooters.
It's the Hooters, yeah.
The fighting Hooters. And his son, Jason, is struggling at school. He doesn't really fit in. He didn't make the swim team. He doesn't have any friends except for Robert Downey Jr.'s character. And Dangerfield decides, well, I'll go back to school and do it with you. That's the whole premise. He like buys his way into the school. He schmoozes Dean Martin, played by Ned Beatty. And he goes back to school. And, there's, of course, the like pompous, like business teacher. Oh my God, what is that guy's name? Paxton Whitehead. Yes. And then there's gorgeous Sally Kellerman.
Okay. I just think she's dreamy. I think everything about her in this movie, from what she wears to when she dances to Oingo Boingo in the party.
Yes.
Like, I've never been this cool. No one's ever been this cool. She is so amazing. When she's reading Joyce in her, I mean,
yes.
Yes, she said yes. I mean, I didn't tell you this story. My sister and I were talking about this. This movie is like popular in my family. Like I said, we all loved it. My sister worked at a club called Bimbo's in San Francisco, which was a cabaret club.
Yes.
Sally Kellerman had a gig there. My sister got to meet her. And had, like she let the people have like lunch with her, like hang out with her, and had like was very grand and had like and was lovely. Like just was really had amazing
Aw.
stories. My sister's like, she's so beautiful and statuesque and like looked great in everything and was just really cool.
That is so awesome. She's
Yeah.
so good in this movie. Like
She's perfect.
Like I love how like so she's the whole thing about like she's reading Joyce and Rodney Dangerfield's character gets all swept up in it. He's like, yes. And she's like, yeah, I think he's pretty hot too. And and then she just moves on. Like just how she handles everything and how she just wants to have fun, and she's very just goes with the flow, and I love her so much. Their relationship is very sweet.
It's like I said, he's nice to everybody. He's super generous. He never got to go to college because he just had to start working right away. So he's really excited at the opportunity. He and Jason have a great relationship.
Yes.
I like the fact that, his son admits he's been lying. He goes, don't lie to me. You lie to girls. He just does. But he's helping him out, and so Rodney Dangerfield was an acrobat at one time and a diver.
Yeah,
and they incorporate that into the script, like things I never knew. And they were going to make him poor, and they decided to make him really wealthy, which is a good choice.
I'm like,
why wouldn't you do that?
Why would you make him poor? That's not fun.
It's fun is that he takes the dorms.
Yes.
And he completely redoes them, and so they have like a hot tub, and it's all like super gorgeous. And he's also like he treats the guys and make it up like, here's some money for the guys, have a party. I say hi to Sonia. He said, say hi to Sonia. Right? Like,
he is like so generous. He buys school books for everybody. He throws parties. He goes to a bar and like he buys drinks for everybody. Like he's so fun. He's so fun.
And we forgot to mention, so it starts out, he loved his first wife and she died. Yeah. And then he marries Vanessa. Yeah. It's Adrienne Barbeau, who's hilarious. She's so mean. She's like the second wife who married him for his money. Yeah. And and it's very 80s, like her fashion. Yeah. Her friends are.
Oh, just the whole thing where she's like, are you saying I spend too much money? And he's like, yeah, a lot of people fly to Switzerland to get their watch fixed. Like jokes.
Just really good jokes on top of the jokes. When he makes that big sandwich for himself.
And he's like got a beer in his pocket. Like, I brought my own.
Yeah,
he's so funny. And like Burt Young is his assistant, Lou. And his driver and everything. And he's really good in this too. Like he's playing
so funny,
like a really gruff guy, but he's also very sweet, who super loves Thornton Mellon, obviously, and would do anything for him. And it's just, this movie's fucking funny, man.
Yeah. So Thornton is going to divorce his wife because she's cheating on him in the kitchen, by the way. So he's got the Polaroids and says, oh, look at you here and here and here. So he goes off to see Jason. So they're both at a turning point in their lives. They both need this, right? And so he's going to school, and on his first day, and my parents love everything with the Paxton Whitehead stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Because my dad hated guys like him, like that were real stiffs, because my dad was from Brooklyn and kind of tough and stuff, but he loves it when Rodney Dangerfield is like, we're going to build a widget. What's a widget? Then he's explaining, you're missing all the things you got, and he's absolutely right. Everything he says, he's absolutely right. Like what he's missing in his class, and all the students are taking notes from him. And then he goes into the room, and I forgot all about this. It's Sam Kinison.
Oh my god, the Sam Kinison stuff is. Sam Kinison he was so funny.
So once again, Sonia, I'm sorry. I have a Sam Kinison autograph.
I want to hear your Sam Kinison story.
So I used to go to Live 105, Alex Bennett show in San Francisco all the frickin' time. And when Sam Kinison was there, I was in the audience that day, and I was lucky. I was in the studio in the audience. I was the only woman, and it was all dudes. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there, and I'll take a picture of this and I'll post it in my Instagram. He handed me a business card, and I looked at it, and he wrote, And he says, "What's your name?" And I said, "Margo." And he like hands it to me and it says, "To Margo." Ah! Sam Kinison. I didn't ask for it. He just gave me his autograph.
That is very, very nice.
And he was very sweet. And my friend Kristen and I went to see him in 90 or 91 before he died. And it was at San Francisco at one of the clubs. And he wasn't very good. He was really towards, But guess who was in the audience and sat near us?
Bob Rubin.
Nope. That's a great guess. Lighten up, everybody. The old Rube's here. That's very Bay Area specific. No, the band Cinderella.
Oh, my God. I would have never guessed this.
Yeah, and my friend Kristen's really, really beautiful. So, like, they were all eyeballing her. It was a wild night. Anyway.
God, Sam Kinison. So, if you don't know.
Oh, my God. He was so funny.
Yeah, if you don't know Sam Kinison's stand-up,
It doesn't age.
It doesn't age well in some ways, but his delivery was just like
timeless.
It would start like, gee, I hadn't really thought of that, and then it turns into like it's just yell.
He had that right. He had a special on HBO, and I remember my family and I were watching it, and we were rolling. He had a thing about kids starving in Africa. And he was
God, I know exactly which one you're talking.
Take them to where the food is. Like, let's take them to where the food is. And it's very white centered.
Totally.
I mean, he did a thing where he did, remember music videos, Wild Thing with Jessica Hahn.
Yes.
It was a kind of a, and then Andrew Dice Clay came around. So it was this. Anyway.
Yes.
This is I don't know if he's ever acted after this. I can't remember being in a movie. He's very funny in this movie. I mean, he's not doing, because he usually wore a beret and a long jacket, and he had these two twin girls that he was dating.
Mm-hmm.
And he married one of them, and then he died like a few years later after this movie. Anyway, so Sam Kinison, he was known for being this wild comic, and here's playing a history teacher.
Yeah.
So he's the first kind to be like, "Do you know about the Vietnam conflict?" And there's, of course, the one brown noser in classic. "Sure, it's the blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
That's when he like spirals. And I love it when he throws the desk.
Yeah, he just like he gets right in her face, and he's just like, and he's so angry, and he's red, and then like Rodney Dangerfield's just like, "Hey man, lighten up, she wasn't even born yet," or whatever. And then they have their interactions, and their interaction is so funny. And like, I don't know how Rodney Dangerfield kept a straight face. I don't think he does very well. Actually, he looks like he's gonna cracking up.
Yeah, they shot him from behind because he was laughing so hard. But I don't know how like Sam Kinison kept in character. I mean, and he stays that way the whole time. I loved his like, "Good answer.
Yes,
I'm gonna keep an eye on you." It's like, he's so funny. And that's when we get to the Sally Kellerman part where he just falls in love with her, and she's dating Paxton Whitehead, which is the one part of the movie that doesn't make any sense.
No, it does. That
he's a drip. She would not.
No, she wouldn't be wasting her time with that. And there is this weird thing where she's dating Rodney Dangerfield's character, and she's dating Philip at the same time, and then gets mad at Thornton for like having a party and like flirting with young girls or whatever. And I'm like, well, you're dating someone else. So, but you gotta let some shit slide.
Yeah.
I love it when he asks her out on the date, though, and she's like, "Actually, I have class that night," or "I have class that night too." And he's like, "Why don't you call me sometime when you don't have class?"
I like it when she says, "I'm sort of going with somebody." He goes, "Well, where are you going?" And she's like, "That's a good question."
Yeah.
He's very sweet with her. He's like, because he would normally they would kind of have him play like a lech.
Yes.
And he's not. He's being really respectful of boundaries and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the women are attracted to him because he's funny and he's fun and he's a good time. So yeah, when he goes to the bar and he sings "Shake It Up, Baby," that was Twisted Shout. Rodney Dangerfield was a video at MTV.
Yeah, it was a hit.
Do you remember that?
It was a hit at the time, and the whole thing with where he goes to the bar, Thornton doesn't give a shit about what people think. He just, and that's why people like being around him. And there's a whole thing where like he buys a pitcher of beer. He invites these young girls to like come and sit with them, he's not interested in them romantically. He just likes having people around. And they probably feel safe with him because he's an old man who's super friendly. But there's like a running thing where like Lou is clearly dating one of those girls at the bar. Yeah, and I'm like, whatever. But it's cute.
He's never lecherous. I don't know how to explain it. Like he's flirtatious, but it's never gross. Like he's so charming.
Yes.
And it's so innocent when he does it. Like it's like the lady at the bookstore, like, I want to tame your shrew. He's just having fun.
One of my favorite lines.
He doesn't touch people.
No.
He doesn't. No. I mean, he's like, the only time is when he's in the jacuzzi with the women in the bikini. But there's like 100 people around. He's not like.
He's not touching them or doing anything. He's just.
They want to be there.
Because he's fun.
One of them looks just like Heather Locklear, don't you think?
She does. One. Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I always think it's Heather Locklear. But anyway, so Thornton is. And so Paxton Whitehead, the big conflict is that he knows Thornton is just buying his way through school, and Dean Martin is just letting him get away with that. Always cracks me up too. So Thornton, and then he and Sally Kellerman start, seeing each other, and those scenes together when he was saying like how much he misses his wife, and he, they both are in their mid part of their lives, and what are they going to do? I mean, it was very sweet. I mean, there's different levels. The movie really hits a crescendo. Oh, also Jason wants to get on this diving team.
Yes, there's a whole thing about Rodney Dangerfield was a diver. The character, and he performed in like Atlantic City, and he did this special dive. Was it the Triple Lindy?
The Triple Lindy.
Yeah. And they have these great body doubles for Rodney Dangerfield in some of the diving, and I'm like, it's so obviously a body double, but it's pretty hilarious. It's so great when he goes to see Jason dive, and like the coach is like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm looking for the fountain of middle age.
I'm looking for the fountain of middle age. That's such a great joke. That is such a great fucking. And Emmett Walsh, by the way.
Yes, he's one of those people that's always so great, funny, and you're so happy to see them, and all of that stuff. Like, I'm looking for the fountain of middle age, or the shape I'm in. You could donate my body to science fiction.
Just. Yeah, so he says, and he said, "Oh, your kid tried out this year, but he didn't do very well." And he goes, "Didn't do very well. Jason, do that dive." Okay, so Jason does dive. He goes, "Oh, he's pretty good." So that's when. So he also has a crush on Valerie, who's Terry Farrell.
Yeah,
and she's
adorable.
Adorable. Everybody drink. She's a ray of sunshine. She's so beautiful, and she's not dating Chaz, who's William Zabka.
Yeah, she's like kind of dating him.
Or she's figuring her stuff out. Yeah. Like, she's just nice to everybody. She's one of those girls I think that's just super sweet to everybody. Yes. She's just one of those people that's like everyone's attracted to her because who wouldn't be? She's a ray of sunshine.
Yes, exactly.
And so she and Jason, of course, is like madly in love with her. Mm-hmm. Robert Downey Jr. is fucking hilarious in this movie. He's funny. Such a doofus. I love it.
He's kind of a Thornton Mellon. You could kind of see why Jason would hang out with him, because he plays Derek Lutz, such a solid movie name. He clearly doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks. He does his own thing. He's just not rich. That's the only thing. Yeah. But he is very like, his hair is colored. He wears these like frilly shirts, and he's just doing and makeup, and he's just doing his thing. He's really funny.
He goes to these, anti-football rallies. Yes. This crypto-fascist, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is Tony Stark later. It's so funny.
The anti-Tony Stark.
Yeah, but he's super funny. Anyway, I love the part where they're signing. When I first went to junior college, you had to sign up for classes. You had to stand in line.
Yeah.
Ugh. And it's you had to know somebody, and I love how like Lou is sitting out there with is it Lou?
Yeah.
With the sign that says Bruce Springsteen
outside the limo. It would totally work. Like, everyone runs out. And then Thornton's like, "Hey, let's sign up for some classes."
Let's get signed up for astronomy. And so they're Jason's like having a hard time because he does get a place now on the diving team, but he's kind of struggling, and Chaz gives him a hard time because his daddy got him the position. But Jason's good, but Jason's,
yeah,
he's a mixed up kid.
He is. He's just a kid.
He's just a kid. My favorite part of this movie is the party where they bring Oingo Boingo.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I love the kid that's like, this is the best thing that's ever happened in my life.
Yeah, it's so
kills me.
It's so there's just a million things in this movie that I could talk about that I love. Like, I love the party. Oingo Boingo is there. Like, the cops show up and like
bring beer,
and they bring
their beer.
They bring more beer. Like, because originally Philip's like, finally somebody like comes to their senses and called the police, and like they're just bringing more beer. There's all the stuff with Kurt Vonnegut like writing the paper about himself. Yes. So
Thornton
funny.
Hires all these experts to do his work for him. So he calls people at NASA for the astronomy class, and he hires Kurt Vonnegut to write his paper.
Gets a C or a D.
And yes, and that's Sally Kellerman, when she's breaking up with him, basically, which is like, whoever wrote that doesn't know anything about Kurt Vonnegut. And that's what he calls Kurt Vonnegut. I'm canceling the check. Next time I'm calling Ludlum.
The Edie McClurg, who's such an 80s staple of comedies, is Thornton Mellon's secretary, and there's a scene where she's in the business class taking notes for him, and she's using like a dictation machine. It's like click, 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 and like Philip figures it out, and like she's like, oh, I'm Thornton Mellon's secretary. I'm just here to take some notes. Oh, like, and she's got the Midwestern accent, and he's like, you will never, ever pass my course. And her eyes get all big. She's so funny. She's another one. Every time she shows up, you're like, oh, it's her. She's always so good.
She's so good. So Thornton eventually, so Jason's like at a crisis point, and Valerie can't help him, because he's being a jackass, and he's like could lose his place on the team. And Thornton's in a crisis because he has to pass his courses. He can't just buy his way out of it. Chaz is being a jerk. Poor William Zabka, who, by the way, is we'll talk about him in Cobra Kai. That's out this week. That's another reason why we want to talk about it. Is so he's like, he's trying to win Valerie, but whatever. And so then Thornton has to study for his classes because he has to take an oral exam.
Yes. And
so there's a whole study sequence.
Yes, we get the study montage. Such a thing.
Which I love.
Yeah. Yeah. This is typical. This is like peak 80s stuff, right? Where it's like, you need to pass the big test. You need to win the big swim meet. All of that's the stakes here. Those are the stakes. I like it.
I love it too. He does really well. It's the first time I remember I heard the poem "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night." I associate it with Rodney Dangerfield.
I'm fine with that.
And he does a beautiful job with it.
He does. That means don't take any shit from anybody.
I don't take shit from no one. Who's coming? Who's next? I'm going to pass this test.
And then the big swim meet, and Robert Downey Jr.'s heckling the divers. He's like, you don't see people heckling the divers. And then he's like, the horn, and he's got the mirror and like all of that stuff. It's just cracking me up. Jason and Valerie, of course, get together. I like that she's taller than him. I think it's very, it's so cute.
But they're cute. They're adorable.
They're so cute. Everybody drinks.
And William Zabka pretends he has a cramp, so he can't do the big dive.
I'm like, what's the end game there for him? Like, we're not
stress.
Like, I'm not going to win.
I think he just freaked out. I think it was the stress. So Thornton, he has to call Thornton Mellon in.
Of course.
And then Walt's like, I've got him on the special supervisor list. I'll bring it later. So Thornton comes out immediately. Yes. And then he does the triple Lindy, and he's on all these different diving boards. I love that triple Lindy jump so much.
It's so amazing. It's so well done and funny. And of course, like, he does it and he nails it because he's Thornton Mellon. And like,
yeah,
it's just, this movie is just fun. It's fucking fun. It's like a little over 90 minutes and there's jokes. What?
Yeah.
There's jokes in this comedy? It's funny.
It just makes your hearts warm. It just kind of, it's a nice little salve, especially everything that's going on right now in the world. It does make me think of going back to school, but in the good way. I super, super love it.
Me too. I'm so glad that we had it on our list. I'm so glad that HBO Max had it. It really was just so fun to watch. Like, it's just fucking fun, man. More of these, please. Can we get more comedies like this with jokes? I mean,
and Keith Gordon is a great director. He directed the best episodes of Fargo, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's really good. He's in Christine, Stephen King.
We haven't done Christine. We should do that in Scary Movie Month because that one is fun. That's a fun one. He's good in that too. I'm going to write it down for us.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be into that.
They did before COVID, they showed Christine on the big screen here in San Francisco, and my niece and I went, and that movie played. Everyone had a good time.
My mom loved it. That was her favorite Stephen King movie.
Lorelai jumped a couple times, and then I made fun of her for months afterwards. Like, ha ha, you were scared of the car.
Oh, my mom freaking loved it.
It's a fun one, and it's another one that has like teenagers played by grown ass men. I die when I watch Christine. They're grown ass men playing like 16-year-olds. They're like, I'm 16. So crazy.
Well, that's like, just a sneak preview. It's like Keith. This couple of years later, Keith Gordon directs The Chocolate War.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one Margo and I talk about for Book versus Movie. And the problem with that movie is like half of them are teenagers because it takes place in a high school, and then half of them are not. And it's sort of like, well, why is that guy in charge when you have Adam Baldwin who looks like he's like would take everybody apart?
This is still a thing. Like when you watch movies with teenagers or shows with teenagers, and they're all in their 20s, and they age out of those parts really quick. I mean, look at 90210. Like,
right. Oh my God. Remember that?
Luke Perry already had a receding hairline and he was playing like a 17-year-old.
And Andrea.
Yes. She was in her 30s.
Yeah. They had to wear the glasses because she had little crow's feet.
Yeah. We're talking like Grease level teenagers here.
Because if you get like a Stranger Things,
mm-hmm.
You hire them when they're little kids, and then all of a sudden, all the producers said, like, yeah, they go through weird growth spurts. I'm like, you think? Like, yeah, that's what happens.
And like, you don't know what you're gonna get, kind of thing, too. Like, everyone goes through a really gawky, awkward stage, and whether you want to do that on a worldwide stage,
I say no.
I'm like, you couldn't pay me to be a child. Like, I wouldn't have the things we put our actors through are so cruel, especially when they're younger like that. And to go through your, like, those early teenage years on a global scale.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how stressful that is. And then to be like, everyone loved to make fun of like Taylor Swift and who she was dating at the time. And I'm like,
wasn't that stupid?
And
that
I was
always
like,
made me mad when people did that.
I'm like, she's in her 20s. She should be dating all the people if she wants.
That's what you do.
Yeah. I'm like, hello, I would fuck everyone if I was Taylor Swift.
If you also are a multi-millionaire and beautiful.
Right?
And I had like all kinds of free time and I could just fly off to places, and
I would date John Mayer, Harry Styles, and Tom Hiddleston too. I get it.
Why wouldn't you?
Who are these people? They're just
I know.
jealous.
I could tell you. I know.
Jealous.
I used to co-host a show with someone like that.
Yeah,
I'm say things like that.
I'm like, I'm just jealous.
You are so jealous. That's
I'm
the
like,
problem.
I get it. I'm jealous, but I'm never gonna make fun of her for it. I was like, that's dope.
Don't
go.
play or hate. Celebrate.
That's right. Do you want to hear about some other movies that came out in '86?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I tried to go deeper because we've done a lot of '86.
Yeah, we're gonna take off '86 for a while.
Yeah, so I am sorry if I have mentioned these before. I really, really tried. Iron Eagle. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, was Queen on the soundtrack for this?
Maybe. I don't remember the soundtrack, but it's a Top Gun ripoff, basically, with Jason Gedrick and Louis Gossett
he was
Jr.
a thing. Yeah.
Yes. Then we got Youngblood. Do you know this one?
That sounds familiar. Who's in it?
Okay, Patrick Swayze and Rob Lowe. Hockey.
Oh, right. Hockey. Rob Lowe's ass. Yes.
I should have called it Young Rob Lowe's Ass Blood.
His ass blood.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's Kevin Bacon in San Francisco on a bike.
Yes, I've been thinking.
I am lightning. That's the Rob Daltrey song. Sorry, I usually do a better Daltrey.
I'm thinking about rewatching that one just because I like to watch San Francisco movies. But
Calvin might like it.
He might actually. I'm gonna write it down. I'm like Quicksilver. My son also likes San Francisco movies, so I'll put it on the list. I know you know this one, Sweet Liberty.
I love Sweet Liberty.
Alan Alda.
Such a cute movie.
It's really cute. I have not seen it in a very long time, but I remember really liking it at the time. It's Michelle Pfeiffer's in there too, right?
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Beautiful. Still beautiful. So beautiful. Howard the Duck.
I'm not a fan. I know it has its fans. I know it's supposed to be so bad it's good, but
right.
No.
That's another one where I'm like, is it overhated? The idea of the overhated movie? I don't know. I think we had high expectations for Howard the Duck. Maybe unfair to Howard the Duck. Leah Thompson is so cute in it, though. That's what I really remember. She's real cute. Under the Cherry Moon.
Not good.
Not good. Very not good.
No.
Good music, though. Nothing in Common.
Oh, Tom Hanks and Jackie Gleason.
That's right.
I like that movie.
That movie. Yeah. It's a
bummer, but I like that movie.
Yeah, it's a strange movie because it's like kind of two movies. There's the Tom Hanks, Jackie Gleason, father-son stuff, and then there's the ad agency stuff.
And then there's the diabetes stuff.
Yeah, it's a strange movie, but
yeah,
there's some good stuff in it. The Mosquito Coast.
I have not seen that in a long time. That's Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it since I definitely saw it in the theater because I love Harrison Ford and I love River Phoenix. So I saw it in the theater. It's not something you go back and rewatch. You're not like, oh, I totally own the Mosquito Coast and I watch it every December. No, nobody does that. This is one I've been thinking about rewatching too. Crimes of the Heart.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It is with Diane Keaton, Sissy Spacek, and Jessica Lange, and there's...
Oh, no. That's a play, right? It was based on a play. Yeah, I have seen it. Sorry, yes. I did that play in college.
I haven't seen it since...
Beth Henley play.
Yeah. Have you seen it recently at all? Because I'm curious if I would like it now.
I was in the play in college.
Oh, so do you like...
DVC.
Oh, my gosh. Who did you play?
The Sissy Spacek part.
Oh, that's the good part.
Yeah.
And
a long time ago.
How were your reviews?
I was okay.
I bet you were amazing.
Nah.
I took drama at DVC for one semester.
Yeah, I liked it. I like DVC, Diablo Valley College. Sorry if you don't know what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Bay Area specific. We talked about that in our last episode of What a Creep.
Yeah, it's a very big community college. Really big. And then the last one here, I know you saw this recently, The Morning After.
Oh, Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
Not good.
I know, you told me that. I was so disappointed.
I was really looking forward to it, and it's not good. All right. So the top 10 songs the week this movie came out, some of them are repeats because we did the summer of 86 before, but level 42, number 10, Something About You.
Okay.
Great.
I just heard that song the other day and I was like, this song is dope and I'm going to add it to my playlists because I love it. It's so good.
Number 9, All I Need Is a Miracle, Mike and the Mechanics.
I was never a Mike and the Mechanics girl. Like,
it's just that Genesis thing.
Yeah, it was just not.
They're like, all right, just play it.
It's not my jam. It's totally like cover band bar music. Yeah. I was like, meh, meh.
A Different Corner, George Michael.
I don't even remember that song.
I don't even remember it now.
I loved George Michael back in the day too.
Is this the Faith album?
It must have been, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember it either.
Greatest Love of All, Whitney Houston.
You just couldn't get away from that song.
Yeah. I know you love this song. Crush on You, the Jets.
I fucking love the Jets.
Yes.
I got a crush on you.
They were Mormon.
This does not surprise me because there's fucking 12 of them. There's 12 siblings all in a band. Sorry, I stereotyped right there, but it's true.
I found out he's really huge in Europe. Billy Ocean, There'll Be Sad Songs.
I loved Billy Ocean. I loved Billy Ocean back in the day.
This was my favorite song. I Can't Wait, New Shoes.
That song is still rad. It's a good one.
Good Madonna song, Live to Tell.
That is a really good Madonna song.
And number 1, On My Own, Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald alert! On my own.
On my own.
Every song should have Michael McDonald, and I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
He's so great.
I wouldn't complain.
Yeah. Let's take a break, and then we'll talk about what else we're dorking out about. My friend, what else are you dorking out about?
I just watched Cobra Kai, the new season.
And?
William Zabka's in there. If you are a nerd for Karate Kid, and I am, I am not a deep diver of it. I don't know all the movies, but I find it enjoyable. I find it something I get really into.
I know.
It's ludicrous. None of these things can happen that happen in there, but I kind of don't care. I just really like the relationships.
Yeah.
And I like the kids. I like the adults. I like that everybody's trying to figure things out. I like the 80s music.
Yeah.
I like how dorky everybody is and doesn't care.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, I find it was really enjoyable, and I watched the whole season.
Nice.
And it's one of those things you can have it on and do other things.
Yeah. I'm super behind. I'm not even close to the newest season, but that's okay. I'm getting there. I'm not worried about things being spoiled for me, by the way. I'm watching it when I can. And every time I watch it, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
And
I finally got to She-Hulk.
And?
I love it.
Me too.
Great. I think she's great. I like the Hulk story. I think it's funny. It's very smart.
Yes.
It's really enjoyable. I'm really into it. It's really, really fun. I've just caught up with What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh my God. This shit fucking kills me. It's so funny.
It's so goddamn funny. I love they had the thing with they were in the nightclub and Sophia Coppola and Jim Jarmusch.
When they have celebrity guest stars, which doesn't happen very often, but when they do, I love that the celebrities go all in.
Yeah.
Because they did
I'm
one
not gonna
with
tell you what happens.
Yeah.
But
they did one with Donald Logue last season, I think, or the season before, and he's playing himself, but he's a vampire. He's like, yeah, I became a vampire for a role. and now I'm just a vampire. And it was like, it's just really funny. I love it. That show is so
it's
funny.
So hilarious. They had a thing. My brother John was really into New Jersey weird history and New Jersey weirdness. And there's a thing called the Jersey Devil. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Mm-mm.
That's why they have a hockey team called the Jersey Devils.
Yes.
And it's supposedly out in the Barrens, the Pine Barrens.
Yes.
There's this creature, not Bigfoot, it's its own devil creature. My brother totally believed this was real. And
I love it.
they have an episode where they go out and they have the devil creature, the Jersey Devil, and they're going to and the devil has like a big dick. And so they're like, punch him in the balls. And the balls are really small compared to the dick.
It's so funny.
And then somebody goes, play something from Jersey. And so
oh my God.
Living on a Prayer.
So funny. And he just starts rocking out.
I loved it. I loved it. I was just laughing so fucking hard. Like, you just need to laugh. Comedies. I just want jokes. I want silly jokes and premises. I just think it's really, really funny.
And this is a show that just gets funnier and funnier. Like, every season gets funnier because the characters get more finely drawn. I don't know. And they can just lean into Parks and Rec was the same way. Like, you almost start laughing before the character even starts talking because you can't wait for that reaction. So funny. I love it.
It's so great. And what else? Oh, I got all caught up into the Don't Worry, Darling. The whole press
my God,
conference.
I'm so happy that you brought this up. Because I stayed up way too late one night because I was like, I just want to see people's reactions to Spitgate. Like, I just stayed up. Like, scrolling on Twitter, reading people's takes on Spitgate. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing? But I couldn't help myself.
But you know what? Because it looks like he spit on him.
He totally looks like it.
Not intentionally. I think he just, Well, do you think he and Olivia Wilde broke up?
I do.
I do too. But I love it. Chris Pine looking totally bored at the press conference is with the headphones. I couldn't stop myself. Yeah. I just kept writing things. But then when people took the thing with Harry Styles sitting down, it looks like he's spitting on Chris Pine's.
Yes.
And then somebody had him, looks like he's throwing a goat on top of Chris Pine's. And then there's the one where Harry Styles has a velociraptor and then he's spitting.
That's the one that killed me. He's the
I was laughing so hard.
The dinosaur that like brings the little wings out on the side and spits and like and it turns out it's like this whole thing where it's like maybe Chris Pine like dropped his sunglasses and like was like
and then Florence Pugh in that gorgeous purple outfit.
Gorgeous.
She's a badass. I don't know how old she is, but she has so much more poise than I do. Like, she handles her shit really well. She looks great. I mean, and then Brendan Fraser had a great moment at the Venice Film Festival. I don't know if the movie's good or not. I just know that I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
Just stupid petty stuff like that with everything going on in the world. That's the stuff I live for because
I think that's what it was. I think it's the kind of thing that I would have 100% focused on in like 2007.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been all in on the Don't Worry, Darling press tour and I would have been obsessed with it. And I'm kind of obsessed with it again. Like, I'm doing it. Like, like I said, stayed up too late, scrolling Twitter, trying to find out. I was like, did he spit on him? How dare you? Like, by the way, like, we all love to rank our Chris's, and like Chris Evans is my favorite Chris. And I was like, Chris Pine, you could be way up there. He's way up there. Like,
Chris Pine sitting there with the mic in his hand and Harry Styles going, it's a movie that it feels like a movie. Like when you go to the movies and you're just sitting there and it just feels like a movie.
And you see like Chris Pine, like his neck tenses up a little when he says it, where he's just like.
Somebody wrote in one of their tweets, he's like, he went to Berkeley on like an English scholarship
Yeah.
or something. Like he's a really smart dude, and he's just sitting there like, "Are you fucking kidding?"
By the way,
And
I
he's-
really like Harry Styles' music, and like
I like Harry Styles.
like
I don't have any problem with
yeah,
him.
maybe he's just not an actor, and that's fine. That's
No,
fine.
he likes being a celebrity. I think
Yeah.
he just likes gabbing. He's totally comfortable with
Yeah.
it. Like he's okay with the fame. He's one of those people. He's okay with the fame part. You can ask him the dumbest question,
Yeah.
he'll come up with an answer.
Yes.
And I'm making fun of him for that, but I'm gonna make fun of him.
Yeah. Have you seen there's a clip of him, like, because he's back on tour, because he's like a machine. The dude has been touring for like 2 years.
Yes.
And he is like, hey, like, I just got back from Venice where I was spitting on Chris Pine. Like,
Thank God he's got a tour to do that. Like he can make fun of himself in 2 seconds, which
Yes.
is like he's smart enough to do that. Like just do that.
yeah.
Just goof on yourself.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because
Yeah.
I definitely have been obsessed with it, and all the memes of Chris Pine as well. Totally obsessed.
It's been great. It's been really good. And then the Real Housewives, Beverly Hills, they filmed the reunion this week. It's going to be interesting or not.
Right.
They do this to us. We get all excited, and then Salt Lake City's coming.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
That's going to be good. I forgot all about Jenny. You were like, are they breaking? I'm like, who's Jenny? You're like, oh, right. She had a whole arc.
Yeah. What's her face?
What's her face with the husband that was like, I think I'm going to get some sister wives. What do you think?
Fuck that guy. Fucking
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, what a creep. Yeah, I can't wait for that to be back. And Great British Baking Show is going to be back on Friday.
Ugh.
That brings me joy. That show just makes me so happy. I can't wait. In the meantime, I've been watching.
Can't wait.
I can't wait. Do, 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 do. I've been watching Chef's Table Pizza.
Oh, that's on my list tonight.
I love all the chef's tables. Like, I love them all. I think they're so great, and the pizza ones are great. You're going to want pizza. I ordered pizza to watch it because you have to. Like, you're going to be drooling, just drooling. It's so good. It's so beautifully shot. Like, I love the deep dive into the chefs. They explain like how they got there, why they do what they do, explains the choices they make, and it tells a complete story, and it has delicious looking food. Even food that I'm like, I would never eat that. I'm fascinated by it. So I love Chef's Table. And I've also started watching the new Lord of the Rings show on Amazon. And
But
I'm totally
Sonia, they don't have black people in Middle Earth.
Oh
Sonia.
my God. Fuck these people. All of these people. There's a controversy about Rings of Power because there are like black people in it playing like dwarves and elves and then all these white people racists. They're racist. They're like, there's no black people in Middle Earth. And I'm like, it's fucking fiction, you weirdos. It's fiction. We don't have to be like historic. This is not a biography, assholes. Like, it doesn't have to be.
I feel like I'm going crazy
Yes.
sometimes. I told you I spent 2.5 days defending Meghan Markle on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because she went down the line, after not the funeral, but they were greeting people.
Yeah.
And somebody came along to take flowers from her hand, and maybe she didn't understand him because she was kind of freaked out because she's being sent to the wolves. I mean, half these people hate her.
Yes.
But she just says, oh, I'm good. I got it. Thank you. Like, just like that. Thank you. Which is how I would do it because I'm a New Yorker. She's an American. And they're like, look how rude she is. She's just taking it from her. How rude. I'm like, she said, thank you.
There's nothing she can do.
No. And there's a pedophile in your family. So did you hear about this?
Yes.
In Scotland, there's a guy that yelled out, you're a dirty old man. A 20-year-old kid in Scotland screamed about Prince Andrew, and he got arrested.
Of course.
And the cops grabbed him, and they said, why'd you do it? He says, because I don't think a sexual assaulter should be out there representing our country. And I'm like, fucking A.
Yeah, I'm like, all these people clutching their pearls at Meghan Markle, who hasn't done anything wrong, by the way.
Nothing.
Meanwhile, Prince Andrew's just fucking walking around like nothing. It's Meghan Markle can't win. Like, no matter what she did, people are going to shit on her. Like, she shows up and they're like, she's making it all about her. And she's been, and if she didn't come, they'd be like, she didn't come. Like, she can't win.
She's so disrespectful. Yeah. Did you see Prince Charles at the desk?
And yes.
It's where he's like,
move all this stuff away.
You're the king and you can't move a stapler?
It's yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine. So Rings of Power is really good. If you can get the first episode, there's a lot of exposition, right? They're introducing a lot of characters. It's a lot of like lofty language. It can be difficult to, it's the same thing when the first time you watch Lord of the Rings, like you're like, what the, and then you get into the rhythm of it and you love it. I think Rings of Power is like that. If you're someone who's like, there's no black elves, fuck off. This show's not for you. But like, these are the same people who are losing their shit over having a black mermaid in Little Mermaid. I'm like, once again, she has a fucking tail. She has a talking crab, like not real life. Like,
but Sonia, it's different than what existed before.
Yeah.
I can't handle a worldview that's different than what I've seen before.
There's these people that think every piece of entertainment needs to be exactly for them. And when it's not for them, they feel slighted or they're being like discriminated against or something. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you have 90% of entertainment is made for these assholes. And when like 10% isn't for them, they hate it. And that's what like She-Hulk and Rings of Power and what's the other one? A League of Their Own and The Little Mermaid. These things are not geared towards them and they lose their fucking shit over
There's
it.
Gay women on these teams. What?
What? Gay women play softball? Get the fuck out of here. What a scoop. Like,
they didn't have gay people in the 40s.
It's just, so again, stupid. Like, if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. There's endless streaming opportunities for you. Go watch something else. There's so much to watch. Like, but these people like lose their shit over like a black elf or that She-Hulk twerked or like that there's a black mermaid. Who cares? Like,
it's so
take
frustrating.
your racism somewhere else. Like,
yes,
and what boggles my mind, what drives me nuts, and I'm really trying not to like, I don't want to engage with these pricks on social because the idea of don't feed the trolls, right? Like, just don't engage with these people. I was like, just go give a thumbs up to the YouTube video of the trailer. Like, go give us 5-star review to League of Their Own. Like, that's how you deal with these trolls. But like, what drives me nutso about these people are the people, because they're claiming they're not racist. And I'm like, you're racist. You're just stop pretending that you're not racist. This is Trump's America, y'all. You should feel emboldened to just go ahead and say you're racist. Like, you're racist. You're like, oh, well, that's just not how it is in Middle Earth. How is it in Middle Earth? Do you have pictures?
Tell me what elves are really like.
Yeah, tell me what elves are really like. You know, what was it like back then when there were fucking dragons? Like, fuck off with these people. Can fuck off. They can.
What did Meghan Markle do? Well, she tried to destroy the monarchy. How?
Yeah, how?
Did she date a boy?
Her very existence.
And you don't deserve an empire if all you can give me is a king that can't handle anything on his desk and can't ask properly for somebody to help him. By the way, you don't deserve a fucking empire if that's what you got.
Like, I don't want to shit on.
Sorry to all our British listeners.
No, and I know, like, hey, there are people that
it's
like
not your fault
that super love the monarchy and they're super invested. And like, I was like, you get no judgment from me because like we just did 15 minutes about the "Don't Worry, Darling" press tour. So like, no judgment here. Like, if that's your jam, that's great. And if you're people who are like, I don't like the monarchy, and I'm like, yeah, I get that too. I'm like, you do you, man. You do you. Just don't be racist.
Just don't be racist about it.
Oh my God. Maybe I need to get a shirt that just says, just don't be racist.
I think that's our new merch.
Don't be racist, you fucking creeps. Jesus.
Just admit it. I mean, God damn it. There's no other reason.
I hate it. And then, so then on top of all this, and then I'll be quiet, so the creators of the Rings of Power series, like they issue a statement on social media and they're like, we're super thankful for the fans. Thank you for standing up for like our diverse cast, blah, blah, blah. And then people are in the comments going like, just because I don't like your show doesn't mean I'm racist. And I'm like, why are you protesting so much? Like, if that statement offended you, it's probably because you're racist. Who are these people? Yeah,
it's the same people that like get so upset about the Biden speech.
Yes.
Like Chris Christie was on ABC News and like, a lot of red behind him. I took that personally. I'm like, if you took that speech personally, it's because you saw yourself in it.
Exactly. Fuck these people. Yeah. There's also, get off on a rant here about Biden, but Biden like tries, like for the longest time, by the way, Biden was like, by the way, not a fan here, not a fan. Like, I've said this before on the show. He's like transition boyfriend, right? Like, I was like, he's just getting us from shitty Donald Trump to I'm hoping somebody more progressive. I have to deal with transition boyfriend. He's been like more than nice to like people who disagree with him in an attempt to like bring everyone together. And the whole time, like these Mitch McConnells and these Lindsey Grahams are like, fuck you, Biden, fuck off. And like the minute Biden's like, yeah, fuck off, they're like, how dare you say fuck off to me? They're just, these people. Just don't be racist, you fucking creeps.
Yeah.
And I'll just get off my soapbox now. Margo, where can people reach you on the internet?
I don't want to say now.
I'll go first. You can send your hate mail to me at thesoniashow.com, The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Bring it. Where can people find you, Margo?
You can find me at brooklynfitchick.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at brooklynfitchick. I'm on the TikTok at Margo Donahue.
And Margo has a book coming out soon called Filmed in Brooklyn. It's already available for pre-sale. You should go get it. It's super awesome. I'm so proud
all about
of my
movies
friend.
Thank you. It's all about movies that are filmed in Brooklyn. Nothing controversial. Just movies filmed in Brooklyn. And you can get it wherever you get your books. It's on pre-sale now. It'll be available October 17th.
Yes. And if you like Dorking Out, you want to give us a review, please do.
We have stickers.
And we have stickers. New stickers. So you can email us at dorkingoutShow@gmail.com and Margo would happily send you some stickers.
Yep.
And if you, I was going to say something else. Oh, we take requests.
Sound of our voices. Oh.
I was going to say, we take requests. So if you have requests, please send them our way. And if you like the sound of our voices, we also co-host a podcast called What a Creep, where you'll get content just like you heard with me ranting about creeps.
Yeah, like that.
We talk about creeps every week, and then we end the episode with someone who's not a creep, so you don't feel like the whole world is a dumpster fire. So you can join us there. This was super fun. I'm so glad we did Back to School. This one is, it's so funny. So
screw you, Monica. I gotta pee.
I gotta go start looking for the Fountain of Middle Age.